Oh, and mine's and jellyfish. Welcome back to Knives, I guess. And it's okay if you feel deep, profound, powerful, and confusing emotions while watching this video. But do me a favor and hit that like button, or you'll never understand the true meaning of a whisper. And we just spent a week carrying the Holtzman's Gorilla Survival, the clip point. So let's take a look at what we're holding, because it'll bother you if I don't, and you know I spoil you. So first things first, and most importantly, the pocket clip is tip up, which is the Lord's carry. We have got the gray G10 with the red liners. We got a flipper tab and a thumb stud, so let's flick the bean. And we have got, I believe, 3.58 inches of D2 steel, if memory serves. So I did my video on this a week ago, and I really like this thing out of the box. My initial guess was there were going to be no major problems carrying it, and right on the money. You know, this is the kind of thing that I really like. This is the kind of thing I really enjoy carrying. The blade length is right. The materials are right. Like, everything here is going on good. You know, the only real gripe that I have with it is the price tag on Holtzman's website, which at full retail is $85. I believe, and I could be mistaken, it is knocked down a few bucks, probably one of those perpetually on sale deals to make it look more appealing, but, you know, at the end of the day, that is way too much for a knife in D2 steel. You know, D2, I had a discussion about that, but D2, in my opinion, is a budget steel, all the way. You know, it used to be a much higher end steel, and of course it's been knocked down farther and farther down the ladder by other steels, other super steels, stuff like that. It's a great steel. Don't get me wrong, this is probably my favorite steel on the budget end, but the fact that you can get D2 knives in the $25 range that have good steel on them and work just fine, it's a budget steel. It's a budget steel. Now, that being said, the build quality is excellent. The build quality is excellent, it feels good in the hand, and I did show this off to some coworkers. Everybody was thoroughly impressed with it, thoroughly impressed with the quality, thoroughly impressed with the looks. A couple of guys, they said, if you want to part ways with that thing, just let me know. So, you know, it definitely left a good impression with the guys I worked with. And I mean, you know, the fit up on everything is great, and we got a nice clean drop shut action, blade centered really well, the action opening it feels really good. Like, I can't find any major complaints. You know, the only thing I ran into with this is it took up a lot of real estate in the pocket, which that happens with everything of this size. You know, I am getting used to it. I'm getting used to carrying stuff like this in the pocket because this is kind of right in the butter zone for a general purpose EDC shape. You know, I like the length of the blade. I like the fact that it emulates a drop point really nicely. You know, you just got the clip right here. I guess you call it a reverse Tonto. And, the length of the blade's good, the feel in the hand is good, like everything about this is really good. This is right in my wheelhouse for stuff I like to carry. You know, I also like carrying just crazy enormous pocket cleavers and stuff like this, but for a general EDC, this is kind of butter zone for me. So I had it on me all week, and one of the things I do is I will cut the plastic wrap off of pallets. If you've got a pretty good edge, it'll blast right through the middle where all the layers are. At the bottom where you got that one single layer, if you've got any kind of edge problems, it'll hang up and tear. And if you've got a good edge, it's like you're cutting through water. This thing, very good edge. It cut that stuff so nicely. I threw it some cardboard, it sliced right through there, it's good and slicey. You know, right up here to the flat, you've got a flat grind, maybe the slightest hollow grind, but it cut very nicely. Like, this thing did everything I wanted it to very well. And I tried to cut some plastic strapping, some heavy-duty stuff. The only thing I ran into there is this is a bit fine of an edge with not enough tooth to it to cut through that strap very well. But I'm not bothered by that so much. There are ways around that. So this thing did great. It did great the whole week I carried it. And something I do want to show you guys. If you can see, all that brass that got dumped on the blade. There's some brass right here. There's brass all down the blade right here. There's nothing on this side. All right, so this was in my pocket. This was on the outside, and just keys rubbing on it, what have you. It dumped a buttload of brass on here. You know, I've been trying to show y'all how bad this can get, and I think this really gives you an idea just how bad this can get. There's not as much showing up on camera as there is in IRL, but we can clean this off really easily. So we have got the Forbidden Moonshine right here. We got some acetone, and let's get the acetone out. Let's get this thing cleaned up a little bit. Acetone is safe to use on your G10. It will cause it to fade a little bit right when you use it the first time, but the color will come back. And acetone is good for cleaning a lot of things off of a knife. It really strips everything off you don't want. There is just the tiniest trace of brass left in the blade where it's just stuck in the coating, but nothing that I'm really going to be concerned about. But it's cleaned up. It's happy with life. You know, no major issues there. So these things clean off easy enough. I hate how much brass gets deposited on blades and knives while I'm carrying them. I really do. There's a little bit more right here. But at the very least, acetone will clean it off if you got G10. I haven't tried the acetone on other materials. I have used it on G10 quite extensively, and it works very well. It gets a lot of dirt up out of your G10. So, yeah, overall, fantastic carry experience. Now, let's take a look at our edge after a little bit of very light use. Let's flick the bean again. So, I mean, it is a very clean cutting edge. Like, I love the edge on this thing. That is the kind of edge that I like. You know, if I strop this thing, it's going to get profoundly sharp, and we will get into edges that I really like. You know, this thing is probably going to respond well to sharpening. I know it's going to respond well to stropping. I love D2. I love that about D2. But let's take a look at our sharpness on the edge tester. I'm going to say it's probably still in the 200s. .209. Called it. I am on my first take, but you know, I was worried about having to do multiple takes because every time I've done this and cleaned the blade off and gotten all the key gunk off of it, all that brass, I flub the take and I have to redo the whole thing. So, yeah, this was a great week with it. And again, at the end of the day, great knife, great week of carry, high quality. This is a good one when you want to show your friends a little bit of pocket bling without going into like the high-end stuff. It's just priced a little bit too high. That's all there is to it. And you know, one thing that I do like, and I forgot to mention it, but you got the gorilla cutout on the pocket clip. I love it when there's some ornamentation on the pocket clip like this. It's just a nice touch. Pocket clips are kind of boring, but they get overlooked. But you have something like this, it's really nice. So, I can't think of a lot else to add that I haven't already said. That kind of covers the whole week of carry, what I like, and almost no gripes outside of the price. So, all that being said, thanks for looking at my crap. Subscribers, you guys are awesome. Y'all keep coming in. I appreciate you so much. If you haven't subscribed, please do. We've got our live streams, regular videos. There's plenty of activities. Comments. I love some feedback. Let me know what you think about this thing or anything else, and y'all have a nice day.